So this next one is the single leg hinge. I'm just going to demonstrate it for you before showing you how you can progress with it, as well as the key form cues to look out for. So okay, so there was a lot going on there, but you might not have been able to perceive it. So let me explain a few things that were happening there. And this might be a little bit of a long one, so it's important you understand this because the hinge is relevant to a lot of movements I'm going to show you. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. But for now, all I want you focusing on is doing some version of this. So this, we'll call it level 1. And you're just going to bend your knee ever so slightly until your heel is off the floor. And what you're doing from there is pushing your hips back towards the walls behind you. We don't want it to be an arch back like this. We want our upper body to stay relatively like straight and not move. We want our hips doing all the movement here. So I'm sending my hips back. And another key thing to note here is I'm going really hard at the top of my foot here, which is going to be important because I want to keep that knee bent as I fight up here. And I want to come up really, really slowly. And if you see a bit of shaking here happening in my left leg, it's because I'm putting a lot of weight on my foot there and I'm really working hard to keep that knee bent. The reason for this is because when I'm in this position at the bottom, when I'm extending my hips like this, my knee is naturally going to want to extend with it. So the idea of the hinge is to work hard to keep that knee bent the whole time. If that doesn't make sense, please watch that last bit again. When I'm in the bottom of the movement, I'm trying to extend my hips without my knee extending too. That's the entire goal of a hinge. To just create a lot of tension within our hips, because where I'm feeling that is at the top of my foot. I'm feeling it a lot in my knee and I'm feeling it a lot in my glute here. And again, we're really controlling this on the way up, creating a lot of tension as we try and keep that knee bent and our back flat. And one thing I like to do if you're doing reps of hinges is you're not going to lock out at the very top. You're going to come about 90% of the way and then go all the way down again. This creates a lot of tension in that glute, in that foot and in that knee. And that's why you'll see a lot of shaking happening here, because it's a lot. It's a lot for a movement that's just body weight. And it's a super effective movement. It just crosses over into so many other movements that I'm going to show you. And once that gets a little more comfortable, you're going to throw in a rotation. So, but don't worry about the rotation until you've nailed this. So until you've nailed level 1, you don't even need to watch the rest of this video. But if you're at a stage where you're starting to get some great feeling with the hinge, it's starting to feel comfortable, you can then move on to adding a little rotation in there. And what I mean by rotation is you're doing the same thing, except as I go down this time, my torso is going towards the camera a little bit. Just that twist element, but when I'm coming up, I'm twisting back and facing my torso towards the ground. Again, working hard to keep that knee bent the whole time. The knee bends at the start and stays bent until this movement is over. How you would progress from there once the rotation becomes easy, you would just add a little bit of weight. But as I said, when going from level 1 to level 2 in this movement, don't even think about this level until you've perfected level 2. But what it looks like is this. So you have a dumbbell in the opposite hand to the leg you're working. And again, you're just doing a small rotation, torso towards the camera, knee staying bent the whole time. I'm at the top of my toe here. And then I'm coming really slowly up, knees staying bent. It's all the power coming through my hips as my torso begins to face towards my shoelaces once again. And I'm not locking out at the top. I'm going about 90% of the way up, and I'm going straight back into this. It's tough, even at a demo. To challenge yourself further beyond that, you would add a bar to your back. This one is really tough. Having a bar on your back just stimulates it in a completely different way than having weights by your side. You can see my knee working hard there and my foot. So there are all the levels of so there's just a few examples of how you would progress with the hinge. But let me quickly show you how this translates over to so many other movements that we're going to be doing together. If you think about the kickstand chop, for example, where I'm chopping down, I'm on my toe, and I'm keeping my knee bent, and that bend is happening at my hips. You'll be able to notice that my knee is in the exact same position that I would be in a hinge, because that's essentially what we're trying to achieve, strength in this position. So the kickstand chop is one example. If you look now, you'll see I'm working hard to keep that knee bent, I'm staying on that toe, and all the weight is pushing through my hips. Another example of this would be a slouch squat. So you might have already done a slouch squat where you're collapsing your upper back forward and you're just bending down all the way. You'll see that my knee is bent here, and when I come up, I'm working hard to keep it bent. It's very similar to the position we're in with a hinge. So regardless of what we want to call the movement, and regardless of all the varieties, the main thing we're trying to do here is become really strong in that position where we're extending our hip and generate lots of strength through our glutes, because that's how we switch this area on. And if we're strong in this area, it's just going to solve so many problems for us. It's a very overlooked area, and it's just going to help with so many issues such as knees, feet, hips and lower back. So I'm a big fan of the hinge, if you can't tell by the length of this video, but it's a really powerful one, and that's why I took the time to speak about it at length. However, all these are just progressions, and you really want to nail level 1 before you progress any further with this one. So if you want to get feedback on your level 1 or any levels if you're experienced with this, just shoot a video from the side and I can give you feedback, but also let me know if you have any other questions about this one.